G'day mates, my name's Stacey Shan, also known as Tell Me Don't You.
Oh, g'day! My name's Mark Thirlwell. I've just cycled in from the tea fields and I'm a little bit high on the tea.
Hey Mark, how's it going?
G'day, my old copper Stace. Hey, we're going to tell you guys how we started the Hutong back in 2007.
So put a shrimp on the barbie and buckle up, bozos!
Yeah!
Now from you two, Morgan and Josh, that's a charming attempt at an Australian accent. But I find that unresolvably quite insulting to my personality and to the Australian people sitting behind me. I have the backing of the kangaroos and the koalas and the wombats, and we're all deeply offended by your attempt at the Australian accent. I would like you both to submit a formal apology, please.
Stop that rubbish, we're global citizens here, not a couple of Aussie ockers. Bloody flies.
So there we have it. Mark and Stacey have spoken, so we'll just hand it to you straight. So, Morgs, do you want to tell us the beginnings?
Sure. Well, what we do know is that the Hutong was founded by two amazing Australians, Mark and Stacey, who both moved to China in the early 2000s. Both worked extensively as tour guides throughout the country, and Stacey also worked as an international school teacher in Beijing. Mark worked on a series of projects all over China when he wasn't biking throughout the country in search of its best teas. They both were based in Beijing, however, and the inspiration behind the Hutong was to find and create a space where they could bring together the best of the East and the West, a place that they could call a home away from home. There is an origin story, and we want to share it with you. Here's how it goes. On one very cold, frosty Beijing winter day, you know those cold Beijing winter days, Mark was biking through the Hutong, zigzagging through the alleyways, and he stumbled across an open courtyard door. He peeked inside and he saw an old lady huddled over a stove warming her hands. He struck up a conversation with her, and the rest is history. She wanted to move out, he wanted to move in, and actually as a next step, Stacey did move into that courtyard. The winter became the spring, they started renovations, and the Hutong was born. What started as a small space where Mark and Stacey first invited over their friends for parties soon became a space where they started inviting the wider Beijing community and creating incredible and exceptional programs and workshops. We've done a lot since those doors opened. One thing, however, when Mark and Stacey first started the Hutong that is still near and dear to our heart is that they said that they were friends first and business partners second. And as we've grown and as we continue to hope to grow over the coming years, that's a principle which will always hold true. We are a business, but we're a people-centered business and we're a community organization. Another fact that you should remember is that we actually did open our doors in 2007. So the time we're recording this video, we've actually been in operation for 15 years. Now Josh is going to tell you a little bit more about what's happened since then.
Yeah, so soon thereafter, things were running at the courtyard, and they still run the same there today. We started running our first education programs in 2009. We designed our first two programs. One was a camping trip up at the Great Wall focused on leadership development, and the other was more of a geography focused program to Inner Mongolia, looking at desertification and water resources issues in northern China. So we had about 300 students who came through our programs that year, and fast forward a decade or so, we had about 7,000 students coming through our programs across 23 different provinces across the country. Our operational bases have grown from Beijing to Shanghai to Hong Kong to Taipei. So things have grown a lot over those years, but some things have remained the same. First of all, what Morgan mentioned about being friends before business, that people-centric focus is something that's very important to us as an organization. But in terms of our programming and experiential education programs, there are some things that have also remained the same. Those foundational blocks, as I see it at least, are sort of three main areas. The first is in line with the way what we were founded for, as a cultural exchange centre. So being able to engage with local culture and local communities is a very important part of our programs. The second part is, I think, more focused on educational value. We are looking to amplify what students are learning at school and drawing links and parallels to their curriculum. And the third area is around that sort of personal development, and that's often brought through physical activities and physical challenges and that sort of thing. So those are the three areas that I think have always remained consistent from day one, that are still there, that gives us a really well-balanced experience on any Hutong program.
Wow, that's 15 years in 5 minutes. We thank you for being here today and for listening and finding out a bit more about our history. But more than anything, we thank you for being a part of our future.
Cheers.
Level up.